I got to the hospital and everything changed forever. The instant I stepped into the hospital, time froze. The beeping monitors fell silent in my mind, the sterile corridors blurred, and the sharp tang of disinfectant faded into the background. This wasn't merely a facility for recovery. It was a stark reflection of existence itself, compelling me to face the raw truth of living, stripped of all pretenses. In that pivotal moment, 7 profound insights emerged, truths that could no longer be denied or dismissed. They reshaped my worldview, turning ordinary existence into a deliberate pursuit. Arriving at the hospital, the first epiphany struck like a thunderbolt. Life's fragility is an unyielding reality. Society lulls us into a false sense of invincibility, as if tomorrow is etched in stone, and our foundations are unshakable. But amid the steady pulse of monitors and the hurried steps of caregivers, I grasped how precarious it all is, hanging by the thread of a single breath. This wasn't terror that gripped me. It was a piercing insight that dismantled every facade of security. We wander through days assuming endurance is guaranteed, like the dawn breaking without fail. Yet the hospital shatters this delusion in an instant. You witness transformations unfold before your eyes. Individuals entering with vitality and optimism only to receive news that upends their world moments later. It reveals that assurance is a myth and the divide between order and turmoil is as thin as parchment. Still beyond those confines, so many squander their moments as if they hold eternal claim to them, wagering against an inexhaustible supply. But fragility isn't a flaw. It's a call to vigilance. Consider a delicate crystal. Its vulnerability demands reverence, not recklessness. Life mirrors this. Once acknowledged, you handle it with intention. Petty conflicts dissolve, postponed aspirations ignite, and the pursuit of fleeting validation ceases. Embracing fragility isn't about shrinking back. It's about purposeful action. It propels you from aimless routine to a life charged with resolve, rejecting anything less than fulfillment. What pierced deepest was our collective blindness to the signals. Our systems murmur cautions long before they roar. Yet we press on convinced of our resilience. Tension accumulates, exhaustion mounts, vitality wanes, and we persist in denial. The hospital lays bare the consequences of such hubris. Figures tethered to devices, gazing blankly upward, haunted by overlooked alerts. Fragility doesn't ambush us. It signals persistently, but we're too engrossed to heed. And when we finally tune in, it's often under duress with no alternatives left. This extends far beyond the physical. Professions crumble in a flash. Bonds fracture from one clash. Markets invert overnight. The equilibrium we rely on is equally brittle. Clinging to illusions of solidity is a risk we can't indulge. Yet, this awareness of fragility isn't meant to immobilize with dread. It's designed to ignite with precision. While total mastery eludes us, we can steward our present resources wisely. Fragility serves as a catalyst underscoring that each instant holds unparalleled significance. And once this sinks into your core, reversion to oblivious living is impossible. Every sensation, every inhalation, every tick of the clock alters. You cease floating through existence. You navigate it with direction. You abandon assumptions for deliberate steps. This weighty consciousness is burdensome. True, but it's also freeing. For if life teeters on the edge, then squandering it ranks as our gravest error. This understanding doesn't diminish you. It renders you indomitable. In the hospital's grip, my thoughts pivoted not to lead or belongings, but to the essence of time, not as a distant concept or mechanical measure, but as the irreplaceable essence I possessed. I'd already frittered away vast portions without reflection. Wealth can rebound, positions can return, but the fleeting minutes and idle stretches vanished irretrievably. This jolt surpassed any material setback. It unveiled time as my sole true asset and one perilously transient. We evade the toll of misused time because it doesn't tally in currency. It occurs in remorse. Reflect on the simplicity of mindless scrolling, endless streaming, or trivial disputes. They seem harmless in the flow, but the hospital presents the ledger. Lifetimes longed for in retrospect, conversations postponed, adventures forsaken. Remorse reigns as the toll for the terminally ill, sharper than any fiscal strain. That's the revelation. The priciest commodity is the instant squandered without intent. Time unmasks priorities when scrutinized. Distractions evaporate. I pondered not obligations or status, but shared joy around meals, absent loved ones' tones, unrealized recollections due to self-imposed busyness. We deceive ourselves that hustle equates to progress, yet it pilfers the very vitality it promises. The hospital dismisses agendas. It judges solely by how we've allocated our span. Times paralyze in its masquerade as plentiful. Each dawn brings the delusion of renewal until abruptly it doesn't. Their illusions fracture. You encounter souls with schedules for the coming days. Visions for years ahead. Now questioning if dusk will arrive. This stark juxtaposition wounds, yet it liberates upon comprehension. Grasping time's finitude ends tolerance for drains. Pretexts vanish and you exact more from your path. Our temporal investments sculpt our identity. Hours devoted to growth, bonds, and fortitude expand us. Those lost to inertia, escapism, or validation contract us. Time accumulates relentlessly, amplifying our inputs like compounding returns. Hence, self-mastery and concentration are vital. Today's fragments forge tomorrow's reality, wittingly or not. Time isn't merely expended. It's constructed upon. The mightiest figures don't possess extra hours. They wield them distinctively, honoring their rarity as surpassing any treasure. This lends the hospital imprinted not boundless horizons but each segment as a crossroads. Those decisions inscribe our destiny live. This inescapable fact, time alone counts and its allocation decrees our fate. Upon reaching the hospital, health supremacy as genuine affluence crashed over me with force. Accumulate fortunes, sway, acclaim. Yet when the frame falters, they crumble to irrelevance. The setting dismantles triumph's veneer. No ransom spares agony. No deal thwarts affliction. No payoff secures vitality. Encircled by apparatuses and warriors for endurance, I discern that all pursuits ring hollow without safeguarding our life's chassis. Health isn't peripheral, it's bedrock. We mishandle it as eternal, indulging whims, foregoing renewal, bartering repose for urgencies, depleting reserves as infinite. But physiology tallies every toll. The wards brim with tales of dismissed harbingers escalating to crisis, most avertible, amassed gradually through habitual lapses until reckoning arrives, exacting maximum penalty. We're primed to hoard for futures, ascend ladders, expand domains, yet starve the core enabling enjoyment, our well-being. Absurdity defined. We shield gadgets with armor, service vehicles routinely, but grind our forms to exhaustion, feigning shock at breakdown. From that vantage, clarity dawned. Health transcends a life facet, it's life's core. Absent it, all else topples. Ironically, vitality demands no extravagance, just steadfastness. Stir your form, nourish with substance, rest as if hinged on it, for it is tame tension preemptively. Familiar counsel, yet the hospital renders evasion futile. Witnessing infusions, labored breaths, verdicts sealing fates, you cease presuming your vessel's endurance. Prevention evolves from suggestion to duty. Wellness spans psyche and spirit too, not solely soma. There I observe tension, unease, depletion corroding as fiercely as pathology. Psyche and form entwine often unseen disregard inner equilibrium and physique rebels neglect outer vigor and spirit phrase. Affluence means harmony. Soundness elevates vigor, ingenuity, ties, upgrading all realms. True riches proliferate thus the stark verity the hospital's unvarnished life's audit of self, stewardship each occupant echoes neglects fallout deferred bartered forsaken health yet valuation dawn perilously late the profound sorrow heed now while vigor ere chance persist not amid helplessness. Health is riches, the sole kind, rendering others meaningful. In the hospital's shadow, a mantra echoed, dread pales against mortality's starkness. Anxieties that once loomed, setback, scrutiny, inadequacy evaporated. For amid life's tenuousness, soul dread with substance was remorse. Death scorns pretexts, safe plays. This dawning renders daily terrors as vapor. Dread flourishes in ease amid wellness, bustle, diversion, it swells, deterring leaps, truths, pursuits. But where vitality teeters, phantoms dissipate. No fretting over stumbles, shame, mockers' jeers. Only yearnings for actions untaken, affections unspoken, risks unclaimed. Dread aims to shield, yet it shackles. We shun ventures fearing loss, blind to time's unyielding flight. We mute hearts dreading rebuff, blind to quiet's deadlier toll on ties. The hospital illuminated, paralyzed not in missteps, but pauses. Yielding to dread risks existence more recklessly than bold strides. Valor isn't dread's void, it's advance despite it. The resilient weren't fearless. They confronted it compelled. They braved operations, gambles, therapies, trials, unseen wars, pressing onward. Awaiting fearlessness is folly. Eternity wasted. Accepting its persistence ends bargaining. You live regardless. Dread feigns command risk aversion as safeguard. Yet existence defies certainty universally. Cower, conform, obey. still fragility awaits. Constriction offers no bulwark, merely amplifies end-time laments. The hospital unveiled commands mirage. Valor's volition. And that volition revolutionizes. Thus, mortality's tangibility nullifies dread. Remains clarity for unhesitant motion, unapologetic creation, unbound affection. Trivial nocturnal haunts recede. Life's imperative surges. Queries shift from what if I falter to what if I abstain. In ticking finality, misstep alarms no more. Untapped promise does. That's the query that endures. At the hospital, an axiom crystallized bonds our life's breath. Peel away ranks, assets, feats. You're left with souls. There. No accolades or balances, soothed voices, visages, clasping palms did. A visitor's arrival sparked illumination in weary eyes, outshining any gadget's glow. That exchange healed deeper than tech. The venue exposed misplaced emphases. We hunt acclaim, toil ceaselessly for wins, hours validating to indifferent crowds. But fragility bears, strangers absent, kin, steadfast allies, quiet companions arrive. Triumph crowd schedules, bonds nourish essence. Vulnerability spotlights all else clamor, cherished cultivated connections anchor their void echoes, profoundly bonds delineate despair from fortitude, encircled by affection fighters persist men swifter solitary souls bore unliftable burdens connections infuse vitality unnoticed till withdrawn. They affirm our communal design. Yet many chase solitude as pinnacle, deeming reliance frailty. Truth inverts, reliance humanizes, collaboration sustains. Deeply bonds delicacy mirrors neglects erosion like wellness they wither sands nurture drifts widen links fray ardor dims the hospital's costs vacant seats by beds of the unprioritizing eyes brimming with yearnings for shared suppers attentive evenings candid dawn bonds. Bonds don't shatter abruptly. They crumble via quiet withdrawal. Paradox. Bonds seek no flawlessness, mere attendance. Memories cling not to quarrels, barbs, or gifts gleam, but presence, timely calls, consoling embraces, pivotal yields. Attendance fuels affinity. Freely offered, often withheld for perceived urgencies. Verity, vulnerability reveals scant needs beyond basics. But for thriving, love reminders of worth bolsters for faltering frames. Bonds are breath. Absent respiration persists, but life doesn't. This vision forever alters your gaze on companions. The hospital's climax unveiled. Mission is supreme remedy. Devices steady forms. Healers prolong spans, but mission ignites will. I beheld frail shells ablaze with resolve driven by unfinished calls. Others robust yet spirit broken deeming meaning lost. This chasm outpowered any regimen. Mission sustains motion sustains spark. The arena exposed meanings forfeit. Sands it. Trials crush. Ache intensifies. Span squander. With it. Impossibilities yield. Post-top rebounds. Calamity conquests. Shattering verdicts surmounted. Mission forges endurance from ether. Unearths hidden reservoirs. Fuels beyond pharmacology. Mission transcends vocation. Coin labels its awakenings. Why? World's engagement rationale inner affirmment of import beyond self. The setting excoriates veils bearing essence. No bed-bound soul muses yields or digital nods. They evoke pending labors, nurtured offspring, nent visions. That's mission. The summons propelling past bodily pleas to cease. Most poignant mission heals environs. A fighter's drive kindles kin's optimism, infuses spaces with uplift amid dread. It cascades infectious soul's balm extending communally. Thus pursuing mission transcends self its contribution. Frequently we postpone it for later stages, triumphs, ideals. But the hospital interers deferred visions. I wish echoes loudest. Wishes for launches, utterances, ventures. Sorrow not in denied shots, but presumed plenitude. Mission brooks. No delay, no timetable. Unpursued now. It may elude eternally. Fact. Your mission, your tether. It renders trials tolerable, infuses ache with sense, endures beyond you. The hospital clarified, cessation comes not with heartbeat's halt, but purposes. While breath flows, mission lingers. World awaits your unique yield. This surpasses any curative. Yet the hospital unearthed deeper thankfulness, the covert alchemy turning ordeal to power. Amid peril and ambiguity, two archetypes emerged, bitterness bound, fixated on thefts, others suffering yet fortified by valuing remnants. Thankfulness softened no agony but reshaped its carriage, granting endurance beyond elixirs. Revelation. Thankfulness isn't sentiment, it's endurance. We deem it elective, a gracious nod in bounty. But the hospital inverts, it peaks in nadar. Simple amid prosperity, arduous in shadow, yet they're potent amid strife, it redirects from fractures to functions. Lungs rise, caring countenances, ongoing instants emerge. Thankfulness recasts endurance as potential. Observable. Thankfulness bridges mind-body. Verified empirically visibly in corridors. Focusing on holdings hastens mending. Steel's resolve emanates vitality. Loss obsessed descend despair. Ward divide stark thankfulness mends spirit bolsters frame prescription-free panacea profound thankfulness active choice spotlighting overlooked valuing the mundane we hasten past boons till imperiled wellness till impaired spans till scarce, till void. The hospital awakens to oversight, compelling small wonders, pulsing core, supportive grasp. Morrow's bid. Thankfulness affirms holding suffice for advance. It revolutionizes ties. Appreciation's whisper fortifies frayed links. A patient's nod to carer outweighed riches, restoring grace, forging rapport. Thankfulness propagates heart to heart, amplifying hope. In critique's den, its rebellion, slicing gloom, affirming import. Ultimate thankfulness recalibrates gauge from hoarding to heed. Queries invert from lacks to presences, pursuits to recognitions. In hospital, transformative, gloom to gleam, alarm to assurance, persistence to potency, anchor in flux, thankfulness endures as stance.